Speed. Rolling.
All right, coming mark. This is Corey. Numero dos. All right. We'll wait till Matt gets down there. All right. Thanks for our brave specimen, actress, for coming out, being part of the lighting demonstration part 2. So this time in the lecture, I talked a little bit about basically why the sun is such a harsh source, and it's harsh because it's just really tiny. And so the reason why this is kind of a soft source is because this is all ambient from the sun, which you can't probably see it, but there's like a huge building over there, and it's just all the natural light, all the bounce of the sun throughout the entire earth coming in through that one window, diffused and hit this, and it looks really good. Like I said, sometimes all you really need is just to pick the right natural daylight and it's good. So what we want to do is we want to just take it just a little bit further, and we want to go ahead and soften it. So what we'd be doing is just like, we've got this source, which is, from here it's about 4 by 6 feet, but it's kind of far away. So, you ever like look at something and you're like, oh, I could crush it with my fingers, because it seems, it's a big object, but if it's far away, it's still very tiny. You look at the sun and you're like, oh, I could pinch it and crush it. Well, then you take something like this, another one of our fixes. This is a $4 curtain shear. That's what that is. And yeah, so you're just seeing, it's just doing just a little bit here, but it's even giving us just a little bit more of a softening fill. And it's spreading. So see here, she's got kind of, a little bit of a nose shadow, just like, I don't want to touch you because COVID, but, but yeah, she's got a little bit of a nose shadow. She's got some shadows kind of under her neck. And what we're really going to do is we're just going to take everything that's already going on there, which is good, and we're just going to soften it up. So there you go. And see, so now that you see right here has changed a little bit, it's not as harsh of a change from lightness to darkness. So it basically creates more of a fall off. And then you can see the nose shadow's kind of dissipated, and the triangle around her cheek has just become a little bit more pronounced. Now you add just a little bit of a backlight in here, you got yourself a picture using daylight, $6 curtain rod, or curtain shear, that's the one. We've got a shower curtain coming next. And yeah, if you put that $8 light that I had previously, or any $8 lamp, maybe give it some color, just some pop back here, you got yourself a pretty picture for very next to nothing. So we're going to just do it one more time, but this time we're going to add a $4 shower curtain. So $2 fix, Big Lots on sale. You can give me a sponsorship if they want, that'd be great. I'll buy all your furniture. Alright. And then, so this is a glaze. Well, I think they call it frosted. So this is, a frosted version. And it's going to do the exact same thing. It's going to have slightly different tones in it. If you noticed before, the shower curtain was a little warm. It just had like a slight, orange into it. This one's pretty clear, so I don't imagine it's going to be doing. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so there you go. There's without it, and there's with it. And see, it's doing the exact same thing. Yeah, I like this too. I really did like, though, that shear we had before. Like I said, just because it had a little bit of orange in it, and I think it warmed up the skin tones nicely. But this is the same thing. There, we'll add just so you can just imagine what a little bit of light might look on her. But there, so that could be from a lamp that's in here, just sitting there, and that's one light and natural daylight. So it's about using kind of what you got. And
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you like kind of what you can do with an actual big, huge source. And so you can kind of see the difference here. So I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna get this down. And like I said, I'm just making sure that whatever I do, the talent is safe. And we're gonna go this way. And I'm going to blind our talent. At least I'm gonna try not to. But it does happen from time to time. You lose one every now and again. No, it's fine. So if you can see over here, I'm panning it away from my talent. Because like I said, if you hurt the talent, you get fired, and your friends get fired usually, because the talent has to go take a break. So I'm just kind of panning it down a little gently. I'm letting her know, striking that it's coming in, into her face area. So this is probably way overexposed. This is, a really powerful light. So what we're gonna do is the same thing, just on a much bigger scale. So you've seen that shower curtain, probably about 2 feet wide by 4 feet. Well, now we got this thing right here. And this is a little bit heavy, so I'm gonna grab a bag. And big leg, weight towards whatever you're throwing. So, and this is just going to be one ginormous soft source eventually. How are you doing? Are you suffering in there? Is that like too intense for you? We can turn it off for the moment if it's too much. All right. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it in, no, maybe not that much in, and look at that difference. I mean, she is literally just blasting off that. It's still a little warm, but just look how incredibly soft it is compared to what we've seen so far. I mean, it's just incredibly beautiful and milky. It screams great cinematic quality. I'll bring this down a little bit. And you know what, I'll warm it up a smidge. So I'm gonna start heading down. I went from about 4,300 down to 42. And Brandon, now let me just check that focus. The light looks so soft that I had to make sure that the talent itself wasn't there, the lens itself wasn't, but yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful, soft image right there. I think, for me personally, there are a lot of people like this. It's a very high key appeal, but me, I like some drama. So, I'm gonna start some drama. And then so we're just going to show you, remember how before I tried to show you this whiteboard? Now I think we've got enough that this whiteboard actually is doing something. And you can see it just ever so slightly. But even right here, if you got real close, you just kind of see a difference. But what I want to do is I want to fill it negatively. So now look at that difference there. And we'll do it for real. So these works in a pinch, gives you a little bit extra, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. I really want to do something a little interesting. So what I'm going to have the talent do is I'm going to say, do you mind if you step over here for just a couple minutes while I put this up? This is called a 4x4 floppy. I've gotten my talent out of the working space. I've prepared this. Let's see See how it goes. Sometimes these make you look like fools in front of your friends. Alright, there it goes. It's making me look like a fool. Oh, I nailed it. That's right, that was my cry for help. So, you take this down. There you go. And the reason why I really had to move, I could have done that without, with her there. But, she's, a multi-million-dollar actress, agents might get upset. So, there. You take this. We got this weight down here. As always, we secure this. And now we say, Miss, can you go ahead, step back in. We invite her back on the set. And then, look at that. Nice, beautiful drama. I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to take it away. And I'm going to add it back in. And I like this so much better. We've got beautiful soft skin, and we've just got just enough shadow. Boom, boom. Maybe we'll open up just a smidge. But yeah, big difference. Cool. And so just remember what we've done is now we've used actual, bigger things, bigger lights. We're going to show you this same thing, maybe on a different scale with a different type of light. The one that we had just wasn't really punchy enough. The light that we use for this is really punchy, and by punchy I mean it just has the ability to throw a nice light a lot of a distance. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We talked about that earlier. It's like distance is like how far it can throw. Inverse square law means the further back a source is. If the source goes back by half, so say the light right now was 3 feet from her, and then we move that light back to 6 feet, you actually lose 4 times the amount of light. And so that's what happens with the fall off. You see here, there's a little bit of a distance traveled. You can kind of see the shadow. Here, let me grab some more shadow. So it's a really soft source. You can barely see any shadow, but you do see a slight gradient here, and that's just, the distance and the light spreading itself out. Of course, this big soft source helps that to be. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my brain a little bit. But yeah, where was I at? Talking about fall off. Let's talk about square verse laws. Let's go ahead. And I think we should just move on to, now we're going to use, so we used, before, all right, let's start. All right, so before we used our big sources, our big, huge cinematic sources, but what if you don't have that? We're all about, teaching people how to, how to do it with what you've got. And it doesn't matter really the level of tools you have, it just makes your job easier, but what really matters is that you know what you're doing, that you know that it's all 3 things. It's key, it's fill,